Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into this incredible ancient story that honestly feels super modern. It's all about something called the alchemist of inner bitterness. So let's just jump right in with a question I think we've all wrestled with at some point. Have you ever felt like you're working so hard to change, you're putting in all this effort, and you still feel completely, totally stuck, like you're just spinning your wheels?
Well, what if I told you that an ancient story holds a pretty surprising answer to that exact problem? Okay, so our story kicks off with a classic setup, a tale of two brothers. But wait, before we even meet these guys, there is a key object you need to know about. It's called a kamandal. Now, it's basically a simple water pot, the kind you might see ascetics carrying in India. And trust me on this, you're going to want to keep this pot in mind. It is everything in this story.
All right, so here are our two brothers, and right away you can see their polar opposites. The older brother, he's all about the external stuff, the rituals, spending a ton of money on these big, flashy pilgrimages. But the younger brother, he's different. His focus is on finding internal peace. He does this by spending his time in what's called Sant Sagam, basically hanging out with wise people. I mean, you can't get two more different approaches to life, right? So one day, the older brother is gearing up for another one of his epic pilgrimages. He asks his younger brother, "Hey, wanna come?" The younger brother says, "Nah, I'm good." But then he makes this kind of weird request. He says, "Hey, instead of me, could you take my kamandal, my water pot, with you on the journey?" And just like that, the pot's holy pilgrimage begins. This little water pot is about to go on a journey of a lifetime. And listen, this wasn't just a weekend trip. We're talking about a massive 6-month journey. 6 months. That's half a year dedicated to this pilgrimage, with this pot in tow. And throughout those 6 months, you would not believe the VIP treatment this pot got. I'm serious. Before the brother would even bathe himself in the holy Ganga River, he bathed the pot first. For every single dip he took, the pot got 10. He's paying priests to place it at the feet of deities. He's decorating it with sandalwood paste. I mean, this pot got the whole 5-star spiritual treatment. Every single external blessing you could possibly imagine was showered on this thing. But after all that time, after all that pomp and circumstance, the story takes a really sharp turn. This is where we get to the unbearably bitter truth of it all. So the older brother finally gets home, and he is just bursting with pride. He's bragging to anyone who will listen, saying, my brother's pot had a journey that was even holier than mine. It touched the feet of the gods. It bathed in all the sacred waters. So to celebrate the pot's return, the younger brother fills it up with some fresh water and offers his older brother the very first drink. The older brother takes a big sip, and wow, the source material says he was overwhelmed by an intense bitterness that spread through his whole body. It was so disgusting, so foul, that he literally threw the pot on the ground. And we're not just talking about a bad aftertaste here. This bitterness was so intense that it stuck with him for 3 whole days. Imagine that. Even after chowing down on sweets, he just could not shake that horrible, bitter taste. So what on earth happened, right? How could a pot that went on this epic, holy journey end up so profoundly bitter on the inside? Well, the answer is all about scraping out the bitterness. The younger brother, calm as ever, takes that same pot to a saint. And what the saint does is so simple, it's almost funny. Step 1, he just soaks the pot in water for 3 days. That's it. Then, step 2, he grabs a tool and literally scrapes out this bitter pulp from the inside of the pot. No big pilgrimage, no fancy rituals, just simple, direct, internal work. And boom, there it is. That's the central lesson, the real key to feeling unstuck. The work that was needed wasn't on the outside at all. It was on the inside. All those pilgrimages and blessings meant absolutely nothing because the inside of the pot itself was still bitter.
Okay, so what does this all mean for us in our lives? Let's really break down the allegory here with the lesson of the pot.
Fast forward 6 months after that scraping. The younger brother invites the older one over again, and guess what he does? He offers him a drink of water from that exact same pot. You can imagine the older brother is terrified, right? He's having flashbacks to those 3 days of bitterness. But his brother reassures him, so he takes a hesitant sip. And the water is as sweet as grapes. The transformation, the real one, is finally complete.
This really breaks it all down for us. So, that bitter Kamandal, that's us. That's our unexamined inner self. You know, the ego, the greed, all that stuff. The grand pilgrimage represents all those external things we do without ever stopping to look inside. The saint scraping, well, that's the hard part. That's the difficult, necessary work of inner cleansing. And the sweet water at the end, that's what we're all after. True peace, real transformation. And to really hammer this point home, there's another amazing analogy in the text. Think about it. You can take a dirty pot to every five-star kitchen, but if you don't scrub the inside, the food will still be spoiled. It's such a simple, perfect image, isn't it? It doesn't matter how fancy the outside world is if the container, the vessel, is dirty on the inside. And this all leads to one final, absolutely crucial idea: reflection. The text has this great image for it. It says we have to be like cattle who chew their cud. You know how they eat, then bring it back up to chew on it some more? It's the same with wisdom. We have to reflect on it, really chew on it, for it to actually nourish us. Just having an experience isn't enough. We have to process it, digest it, and make it part of who we are. So this whole story leaves us with a pretty powerful question to ask ourselves. And it's this: what inner bitterness are you carrying around that no pilgrimage, no new job, no external journey could ever wash away? It's a heavy question for sure, but it's really the whole point of this amazing story.